welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. Let me show you who I've got in my green room this evening. We have got the controversial king of daytime telly, Mr. Jeremy Kyle is here, ladies and gentlemen. Along with him, one of Britain's finest stand-up comedians, Russell Howard. Evening, Russell. And I imagine he's still upset from losing the Eurovision gig to Bonnie Tyler. Our music tonight comes from Thom Yorke from Radiohead. Hey, Thom. How are you? And all the way from Hollywood via the USS Enterprise from the new Star Trek movie, we have Spock and Uhura, Zachary Quinto and Zoe Saldana. Wow, look, that's multitasking. Let's get on with the show, and in honour of Star Trek, we're going to try and teleport me to the desk. Now, this hasn't been done before, OK? At least not since the last time Zoe and Zachary were on a chat show, so wish me luck. Beam me up. No, hold on, this isn't right. I need to be over there, so let's try it again. Let's beam me down over to the desk. That's where I need to be. Let's try it again.
Where the hell am I?
Alan.
What? Where am I?
We've obviously, our particle accelerator has obviously got tangled with your warp drive.
Oh, my God. You have to get used to this.
No, you couldn't get used to this. Go back to Channel 4 where you belong.
Your audience are better looking than mine.
Yeah.
There you are.
Well, that's obviously a reflection on the host.
Anyway, if you missed my show on Friday, you can check it out Monday, Channel 4, 11:05. Come and watch a real chat show.
Beam him away. Beam him out quickly.
No, listen, don't.
And that is acting. Okay? Let's not risk it again in case we've been Piers Morgan down by mistake. Instead, let's bring out our guests in the traditional way from the new Star Trek movie. It is Zachary Quinto and Zoe Saldana. Fabulous to have you here. Thank you so much. How gorgeous, how handsome. Come on, sit down. Let me squeeze in it. Well, the whole beaming up and beaming down is more complicated than it looks.
Trust me, we know.
Yes.
Wow,
Painful too.
But it's fun and it gets you where you want to go. OK, so congratulations on the new movie, the new Star Trek movie. Is it called Into the Darkness?
Into Darkness. Yeah.
Into Darkness. It's out on May the 9th over here. I've seen it already. I loved it. I loved the first one as well. And it still, I guess, must be quite daunting for you guys being in something which has such a loyal following and has such a fan base that goes back so many years.
Yeah. Almost 50 now.
Wow.
And what's a gift is to know that you are reprising roles that were part of a show that represented such a beautiful message.
Diversity and coming together. And
peace.
Gene Roddenberry, who was really a visionary in the 60s and used his show as a way to reflect back at society. So many topics that really people weren't able to talk about then, you know. The first interracial kiss was on Star Trek, you know, and you have this crew that represents such an amalgam of people coming together for the betterment of humanity. I think he was at heart really an optimist who had true faith in what we're capable of for the good, and it's nice to be a part of something like that.
And we get to see sexy women painted green.
Yeah.
So there were no losers in that.
It's a win-win, trust me.
But playing Spock, I mean, obviously, Uhura, a hugely important character, and we'll talk about her a bit, but Spock, of course, was such a kind of well-loved character and so well-defined and so unique in his way. And I know that Leonard Nimoy was kind of involved in approving you for the role.
Yeah, he did have consultation approval, which means that I had to have his blessing going into the experience. I was the first of us to get the job, and he was a big part of that. So, and he and I have become so close. I love him, and
he's super cool.
Really
he's
cool.
So cool.
Yeah, really cool.
I can see why you get the part, because not only are you a fabulous actor, but also you kind of do already look like him, don't
Yeah,
you?
there's a resemblance.
Even
it's
without
true.
the makeup, and your
It's
ears
true.
are kind of trying to get into
They're
a
trying.
point. You can feel them.
They're trying like the reverse way. I feel like they're pointing around the bottom.
Trust me, the compassion that this second time around I have for Zach when we were shooting, because to know that you have to like shave your eyebrows, and for 4 months while you're shooting this movie, Zach would have to shave his eyebrows and leave them shaved for like 4 to 6 months.
6 months this time.
And it was just grueling on him.
Yeah.
Well, because you can't. No, it's hard You can't even go to the movies without people looking at you going, what's his deal?
I think we should do a benefit concert for Zachary for the ordeal he's suffered, because
it's so hard.
That's giving above and beyond. That's inhumane. Okay, it's nice having you on together, because I know you've known each other for a while, but of course, in the new kind of mythology of Star Trek, you guys are lovers. Or I guess they're kind of heading that way if they're not already.
No, we've been in a relationship. Spock and Uhura have been in a relationship since the first movie, at least.
Yeah. But do you know are you told how far the relationship's gone?
I don't.
They're definitely having sex.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Actually, that's not true, because Vulcans don't have sex except for every 7 years.
No, they can only breed every 7 years.
All
My
right,
mom told me.
Oh. So I got to keep her satisfied.
That's gonna be some big night every 7 years.
Well, I work really hard.
How come your mum knows more about him having sex than you do?
No, because my mom used to watch Star Trek when she was growing up in the Caribbean, and back then it was dubbed, and she used to watch it with her grandpa, and it was called Viaje a las Estrellas. So when she knew that I was up for the role of Uhura, my mom was just like, Zoe, you have to take it. This is amazing, and now you get to be in love with Spock. He's the sexiest character in the show. That's my mom.
Your mum was in West Side Story, wasn't she?
She liked West Side Story. She
Didn't we
thought
all?
she was Rita Moreno, though.
So you were raised in the Dominican Republic, is that right? So Spanish is your kind of first tongue, I guess.
It was my first language. It's so funny because my sisters and I have a joke, and we reference it to Chinatown. You know, when they say it's my sister, my mother, it's like, oh, so English is your first language? It's English. It's Spanish. It's because you keep always jumping. Like whenever you hit a wall and I don't know what to say, I usually
Coño.
say.
Coño.
That means shit. That means everything.
It's a handy word
When
to
you're
remember.
mad, you go coño. When something's good, you're like coño.
Wow.
Yeah, so coño's like everything.
When you flub your lines, you go, Coño!
I don't think there's a word in English which covers every eventuality.
No,
like
that's
that.
true. No, we should come up with one, though.
I think so, yeah.
Let's have a look at the clip. I know you're dying to see this. I'm lucky I've seen the movie already. I'm going to go and see it again pretty soon. It opens next Thursday here, all over the country. This is Star Trek Into Darkness.
Captain on the bridge!
Lieutenant, we have an open channel, Mr. Spock.
The heat's frying his comms, but we still have contact.
Spock!
I have activated the device, Captain. When the countdown is complete, the reaction should render the volcano inert.
Yeah, and that's gonna render him inert.
Do we have use of the transporters?
Negative.
Not with these magnetic fields.
I need to beam Spock back to the ship. Give me one way to do it.
Maybe if we had a direct line of sight. If we
Hold
got
on, wee
closer.
man. You're talking about an active volcano, sir. If that thing erupts, I can't guarantee we can withstand the heat.
I don't know that we can maintain that kind of altitude.
Our shuttle was concealed by the ash cloud, but the Enterprise is too large. If utilized in a rescue effort, it would be revealed to the indigenous species.
Spock, nobody knows the rules better than you, but there has got to be an exception.
None. Such action violates the Prime Directive.
Shut up, Spock. We're trying to save you, damn it.
Doctor, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Spock, we're talking about your life!
The rule cannot be broken.
Spock! Try to get him back online.
90 seconds to detonations.
Spock over here and I over there. What would he do?
He'd let you die.
Wow.
I feel like my voice...
Because if you had sucked on helium.
Yeah, it sounds as though I've been inhaling helium. It sounds like my voice is really higher.
Well, you are in a tight spacesuit. Maybe that's what's going on.
That's spacesuit.
But let me ask you about your clothing, because you are in an outfit so tight. I mean, it's not quite as tight as something I saw Cher wearing, looking at some pictures last week, but it doesn't leave a lot to the imagination. I guess, are they restrictive? Is it difficult to perform in that?
You mean the wetsuit that I
Yeah.
have in that scene? It was definitely a wetsuit, so it was made with the material of wetsuits. But you needed baby powder and 4 people to help me put it on and zip it up, and then...
And I bet it was hard finding volunteers, wasn't it?
You know what was hard? Was getting water. Because when I was on the set, I would ask for water, and nobody would get it for me because they didn't want me to go pee. Because that meant that they would all have to come and unzip me and take it off, and I would have to... And it was a very mean
We'll add that to the benefit. We'll add that to the concert that you pulled together for.
So it's a benefit for shaved eyebrows and risking thrush or whatever.
Oh my
I don't know what.
God, it seems like, oh my God, that's so lame. Why is she complaining? You guys, when you're working like 18-hour days, it's really hard.
But you know, you should do.
No one would get me water.
You have to pee, and you just can I please get some water? And you're so parched.
You're just meant to let it go though. In a wetsuit, you're meant to pee in wetsuit.
That's right, and that's what started happening. So for the rest of us, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, but that's how mean. Nobody told me about that.
Yeah, but number ones only. Okay, you don't want to. One final thing before we go to a break, and the guys are going to stick around. We're going to talk about the break. I want to say the whole Spock hand thing. That's plagued me all my life. I've always wanted to be able to do that, just to snap into it. And some people seem to do it, some people can't. Could you always do it, or did you learn?
No, I did have to actually spend some time conditioning my hand. Before I started shooting the first movie.
Didn't you tape it one time?
I put rubber bands around these two fingers and drove around Los Angeles going like this.
Wow.
So that I could, because I couldn't do it at first, but I've got it in the end.
Oh, did you do it in the left hand then? You were doing it left-handed?
Yeah, I do it left-handed.
You don't do it right-handed?
I'm left-handed. Yeah, I can kind of do it on the right hand, not as well. I'm more like you on my right hand.
You can't do it on the right hand at all. What are you talking about? That's the most pathetic Spock hand I've ever seen in my life.
Well, good thing you're not playing it, I suppose.
Yeah. Oh, well, hang on. Oh, the shade. Okay, let's have a look in the green room. Jeremy, can you do it? Because you...
Oh, nice!
Wow, hold on. That's pretty good. You're doing a weird thing.
You look like a Vulcan rapper.
Yeah. Yeah. No gang signs. Okay, Russell, you
can do with that one, but that one, no. See?
You look like you're a bad mime artist, is what you're doing. Trapped in a box. Tom's got it going. Yeah. My shizzle. OK, before we go to the break, I wanted to ask Zachary something, whether he would do something for us, because obviously I read up on the guests, and I read that one of the things you learned while you were filming, and to fill the time, I guess it was, you learned how to play the banjo.
Yeah, in a manner of speaking.
That's a tough instrument to master,
It's a tough one, yeah, and I haven't by any means mastered it.
How long have you been learning the banjo?
Since July.
Oh, so not that long?
Not that long, no.
OK.
Oh, my God.
We've got a banjo here. We always keep a banjo on the set. But it's got a... It's a nice sound, the banjo, isn't it?
Sound, yeah.
OK, so I'm going to give you this.
Oh, you are?
And ask you whether you wouldn't mind playing us something when we come back from the break.
All right,
so if you want to warm your fingers up,
thanks.
OK? And we're going to take a break now, but when we come back, Zachary and Zoe will still be in. Hopefully, Zachary will be playing something for us on the banjo, so don't go away. As you can see, Zachary Quinto is still here, Zoe Saldana is still here, I'm pleased to say, and Zachary is armed now with his banjo.
With your banjo?
With our banjo, yes, which is a communal banjo.
I was going to bring my banjo on the press tour, but I thought it might be a little cumbersome to cumberbatch to travel with. This is a little... Only a few months. I'm no Steve Martin. But it's, I actually started playing when I was doing American Horror Story, the second season of American Horror Story. I decided that I wanted to go into that job and have a hobby, something I could challenge myself with. So that's why I learned it and when I started learning it. And at first I was really afraid of being like one of those douchey actors that was just doing what he wanted to do on set and at the expense of everyone else. And about 3 days in, I started to get a little braver, and so I took my banjo from my trailer up to set, and between shots, I would play, and I would just sit in the corner and sort of fiddle around. And all of a sudden, people from the crew started coming up and just saying, "Thank you so much. It's such a beautiful instrument. There's something really meditative about it." And I could sit for hours and hours and hours.
I can imagine if people coming up, did anyone start a fire and cook beans over it?
A couple times.
Kill a chicken, make some soup.
They skinned a chicken alive on the set of American Horror Story.
Zoe, let me ask you, because what an incredible few years it's been for you, because not only are you, this huge role in this new movie franchise, but also one of the leads in Avatar as well. Yes. What a fabulous film and a great performance. And of course, you were blued up for most of that. And they're making a sequel, aren't they? Is that going ahead?
I think that they're doing a part 2 and a part 3, and they're probably going to shoot it at the same time. Because if we just do 2 and then wait, I'll probably be like 45 or 50 by the time we get to part 3.
So it
takes a long time. It's a very hard process when you shoot motion capture.
And you're in
Is
a
it
new...
as hard as when they don't get you water when you need it?
Or when you're wearing like a wetsuit, it's so hard.
When are you shooting it, do you know?
Early next year,
Awesome.
I think, yeah.
And you're in the new... There's a new Marvel movie as well. You're kind of doing a lot of this fantasy stuff, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Kind of, yeah.
So I was blue for Avatar, and now I'm going to be green for Guardians of the Galaxy.
So you play just about any colour?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And can you tell us anything about that, or is that kind of top secret for now?
It sort of is. And the only reason why I say it is because they made me sign a whole bunch of papers, but if I didn't, I'd be so telling you right now.
Can you talk about the movie you did? The new movie?
Hey. Oi, no whispering.
All right, sorry. Can I?
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is that Zoe played Nina Simone in a biopic that she shot earlier this year, and I cannot wait. Oh, last fall, right?
I can't wait to see this because I love Nina Simone.
Me too, man. Me too.
An incredible woman, and also she was quite a troubled woman, wasn't she? Didn't she have bipolar condition, or there was some kind of psychological problem?
Yes. Well, this is actually. People think that she obviously was a person like that was a drug addict, but it was she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder very early. In a time where they were experimenting drugs on people. So these drugs were not approved, they had severe side effects, and they had weakened her body very, very much. So learning these things as I was, stepping into this character, stepping into her life, I was very grateful to know that.
It's wonderful that you can get the truth of her life story out there, because obviously that will help people going for the same thing. And it's reminded me, Zachary, because when you came out, I know that was for a reason, wasn't it, in Hollywood? I mean, it's a different story entirely, but it was a specific reason why you did that.
Yeah.
It's just so I would stop calling him.
Yeah. There was a rash of teen suicides in America at the time, and I was doing... I had just finished doing a play, Angels in America, which is centered in New York City during the height of the AIDS crisis. And I just felt like it was a convergence for me where I was in a position, and am in a position, to be able for young people to look at the experience that I've had, to look at the opportunities that have been presented to me, and to recognize in themselves that there is no limitation, and that we live in a time where the tide is changing, and all over the world, the movement toward equality is cresting, and that wave is unstoppable. So for me, I felt like it was the right time and the right way.
Were you concerned it would affect your career, though? Because I know some people who are in Hollywood, and it's entirely their choice, and far be it from us to judge, but at the same time, some people, I think, because they think it would limit the roles they're being offered. As a gay actor, to be offered, and obviously not a gay actor, but as an actor who is gay, whether you'll get offered straight roles as readily, will you get offered action roles? And obviously you're proving that isn't the case, but some people, I think, are in for that reason. Was that a worry for you, a concern?
No, I'm not interested in working with people who would have any issue with that, or if people don't want to work with me because of my sexual orientation, then I have no interest in working with them to begin with. So it doesn't really put me in a position where I feel like I'm limited. I mean,
do you think there are straight guys who come out as gay because they think that will get them more work? Does that happen that way, you think? 'Cause it may swing in that direction.
It seems to be. I don't know. We'll see how it shapes up. But right now, especially in this movie and this second movie where I really do get to immerse myself in a whole action sequence and, really kick some serious ass. I feel like I am, in a lot of ways, proving that that's not true, and I intend to continue to do that and invite other people to do it as well, because I feel like it's the only way that we can truly move forward. And it comes back to the idea of Star Trek and the diversity and the idea of people coming together for the greater good. Not just for someone's own personal well-being. Oh, I might not work as much but look at how many people might not die because they can look at somebody and say, that's a person who is successful, who is authentic, and who is fulfilled, and that's what I feel like I am. So I couldn't be prouder of that, and everything else will fall into place as it's meant to, but it hasn't slowed me down yet.
Well, it's a lovely message, and it's a lovely thing to do. Yeah. One minute, I'm sure some remember there was a terrific series I loved on TV because I love superhero stuff. Heroes was on television a while ago, and you played the evil Siler in that.
I did, yeah.
And the way you did, your face, you can make yourself look quite evil.
Yeah.
Quite easily, it seems to me. Your face lends itself to evilness quite well.
I think it's the eyebrows too.
Partly.
Is that what it is?
Partly.
So right now you seem quite open and friendly. How do you switch to evil mode?
It comes in handy if I don't want people to bother me at a restaurant.
Hey, well, you mention eyebrows because it is a big part of it, and you've got a spectacular... Of all the people that have to shave them off...
I know, that's exactly the point,
You've got twice the normal amount right there.
Totally.
But eyebrows, doing stuff with your eyebrows is kind of fashionable. See if you can help me spot whose eyebrows these are. It's a new game we're playing. Whose eyebrow is this? OK.
Oh, The Rock.
Oh, that was too quick.
But he looks like he tweezes.
He looks like he tweezes?
Yeah.
OK, so that's The Rock. You got that 1 for 1. OK, let's go again.
Oh.
Sandra Bullock.
Sofia Vergara.
No, you're both being too classy.
Cheryl Cole.
Wow, Cheryl Cole. Well, if you're watching, Cheryl...
I said Kim Kardashian.
Kim Kardashian it is. You went low enough. That's right. There you go. God bless her. Good luck with the baby, Kim. OK, let's do one more.
Stallone.
Yeah, that's it. The master.
More.
Here you go. Here's one more. You ready to get this one? This is a tough one.
This is not possible. That can't be real. Is that actually eyebrows of somebody?
Well, it's maybe not somebody. Maybe it's a... There you go. It's that cat. That's too cute, isn't it? OK, we're going to have to say goodbye. We've had you here for a while. I would love to keep you out for longer. I'm enjoying your company both so much.
Thanks, you too.
How lovely to meet you, Zoe.
Thank you.
Zachary, lovely to meet you again. The film is out May the 9th, I said. It's great fun. Even if you're not a Star Trek fan, you're going to love it. But, of course, who isn't? Will you join me in saying thank you to the fabulous Zachary Quinto and Zoe Saldana? Thanks for the banjo playing as well. OK. Stick around, because after the break, Jeremy Kyle will be giving us the results of Russell Howard's DNA test. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back to the show. OK, it's time to get our next guest out, and I'm very excited he's here because on his programme he has taken on such issues as, and I'm quoting from the titles of these things on the show, "Prove I'm a dad, then I'll prove I haven't slept with my mum." That was one episode. Another one of my favourites, "How could my boyfriend destroy his own face?" And this is perhaps the best one of all. "How can I be your baby's dad when I'm not Asian?" I've lost count of the number of times I've said that to my wife. It's a guilty pleasure, perhaps, but I enjoy it. Here is, before he comes out, him doing what he does best. Jeremy Kyle in action. Look at this.
Does everybody smoke weed, not work, have unprotected sex and talk too much? I'm going to do the results. Be quiet.
Well, why'd you have kids if you can't afford to pay for them? Because we live in a society that wipes people's backsides like you, and it's a joke.
It doesn't stop you having sex with 4 women, does it? This guy is not worth it.
You've got family and you've got friends, and you need to aim hard in this kind. We're going to support you and work with you, OK?
OK.
Change your life, he's worth it.
There you go. That's tough love in action. Will you please welcome Mr. Jeremy Kyle? There's some great moments in those clips. Thank you. Good to have you here, Mr. Kyle. Come and sit down. OK, I'm going to start by saying I like your show. When it first started on TV, I thought, oh, my God, this is awful. This man's a maniac. Why are they doing it to these poor people? And then I grew to like what you were doing very much indeed. Do you encounter that a lot, though? Do people say to you, I never used to like the show, now I do? Or do they are they
I think it's Marmite, Jonathan. You know, I think that people... You said guilty pleasure before the break. I think that's it. I think people... they either love it or they don't like it, but a lot of them will say, I don't like that show, but you know the other day on Tuesday when you did that, and they'll go, oh, that's outrageous. Listen, it's 8 years, isn't it? It's 2.5, 1,000 shows.
I didn't realise you spoke like this in real life as well. I thought... Because you're kind of talking to me like you talk on the show. I figured there'd be
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, I know, you haven't told me to shut up yet, but...
I wouldn't dream of it.
I thought there'd be an on-screen Jeremy and an off-screen Jeremy, and I thought you'd be... But you actually do talk in those kind of fully created sound bites.
What does that
it's
mean?
like... Well, they're like little packages. You could throw it out there.
Don't get on about little packages.
Oh, OK. Well, seeing as you raised it, congratulations on the all clear.
Thank you very much.
Because Jeremy, you may have read this papers, he had a bout with testicular cancer.
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
came back from America last year and literally 3 or 4 days before Christmas, went to the doctor's checkup, tumour straight away.
Wow.
4 days over Christmas, didn't know the results, which is pretty hard when you're looking at your kids opening their presents. And a bit of chemo, and came out the other side. And it tends to sort of refocus everything, really. It makes you think so much about life, really.
And were you aware that you had a problem before you went in?
Not at all.
So
Not at all.
you're one
And
of those guys, because some guys, they
Yeah.
think there's a problem and then they kind of not lie to themselves, but push it away. They don't want to deal
I
with it.
remember the guy saying to me, the surgeon, that if I could talk about it, it would benefit people enormously, because there's 2,500 people, men, who die of testicular cancer in Great Britain every year. And because men don't like to check themselves. They don't want to go to the doctor, they're embarrassed, showing their bits off, whatever, and they turn a blind eye on it. It can be too late. I got really lucky. Really, really lucky.
But it's a fascinating subject because it can save lives, and it is it's a good
It
thing
is,
for you to go out and talk about it openly and honestly.
Well, it was of no embarrassment to me at all. I'm being completely serious. I mean, you have those moments in your life that are defining moments. And I remember waking up from the operation, and it was horrible walking down to the theatre and saying goodbye to Carla, and broke down in front of the anaesthetist and said to him, I think there are millions of people in Great Britain that would like to see me like this right now. And then don't remember anything else.
Wow.
And
So
then
this
woke
is-
up,
was
my
this-
best 3 mates in the world came in, and we do this charity golf day.
Hold on. Let's enjoy that moment.
Go on then.
So,
What?
when you were breaking down like that then, were they'd already given you anaesthetic, or you were drunk, or what was it? In the morning,
I hadn't had the drugs at that point.
So you were just emotional?
I was crying my eyes out. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it had spread. I didn't know quite what was going to happen to me.
I think people will be surprised to hear that of you. Obviously, you're in extraordinary
I was about
circumstances.
to have a testicle
No, I
removed.
know.
I'm not that cool.
No, I don't think people think you're cool. I think they think you're cold.
Cold?
No, I think people do think that of you. I personally don't think... Now I've met you, I don't think that's the case, but I think people thought, who is that cold bastard who will get some person... And you go, shut up! Who are you to tell me? You piece of... You are nothing. You are a piece of dirt, blah, 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 blah. Right? Obviously, you didn't say blah, blah, but, the gist of it is there. And people think that's a certain hardness and a certain coldness, because often they are people who are in difficult circumstances themselves.
But
So
it's honest, isn't it? I mean, there's the point. We have this debate so much of the time. There's 10 or 15 minutes. What do you want me to do? Sit there and mollycoddle them? At the end of the day, if you're creating a life and not being responsible, you're rushing around the place taking advantage, you're beating people, you're taking drugs, you're drinking, what do you want me to do? It'll be all right. That's why they're in the position they are. So you get a bit of time. People say to me, what right do you have to say that to them? And I go, well, they came on, they asked. Yeah. So I'm only being honest. Listen, the thing about it is, I totally understand that 50% go, argh, but it's only me giving an opinion.
Are you concerned ever? You said, OK, these people want to come on the show, and presumably they do. They apply to come on the show. You don't go and twist anyone's arm. Are you ever concerned about when people make charges of exploitation? They say, you've got people there, sure, they want to be on the show, but do they really know what they're getting themselves into?
Listen, the checks that take place, the 140-page Bible that was written before the Jeremy Kyle show ever started, the aftercare service that is the best that there's ever been on a talk show. We put last year, I couldn't give you a definitive number, Jonathan, but we put over 300 people into detox and rehab programmes. And you know what? When people say to me, well, did all 300 change their lives? Hopefully. But for me, morally, and I've got 4 kids, if one does that, then that more than justifies what we do. Yes, it's honest, but it's a conflict resolution.
Your children in rehab?
No, they're not in rehab. Not yet. What I'm saying is, as a father, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't do that show if it was just that.
No.
We do our best, but people will always say, well, do you make a difference?
What about you, though? What about you? You had a problematical past as well, didn't you? I know you're very open about this. You were addicted to gambling, or certainly in trouble with gambling. You had gambling debts.
When I was younger, in my early 20s, I gambled too much. It's as simple as that. I managed to get it under control, and...
Are you gambling, what, just horses, cards, slot machines, what was it?
I think at the time I would probably have gambled on most things, really, because, you have that whole thing in your head, don't you, about, oh, I can win this, I can win that. For me now, it's a totally different kettle of fish, and I can... again, people will say, what sort of experiences do you have? I don't have experiences of everything. I've got an experience of that. That doesn't make me a world authority on it. In anything, when people ask me an opinion, it's just... what I think.
Well,
really.
you don't need to necessarily have been through something to understand how to help other people get out of it. How bad was your situation? Were you in trouble financially? Were you in trouble in relationships as a result of what?
No, I had financial trouble, and I got over that.
So you were in debt, basically.
Yeah, and I think that was quite an interesting point because you learn from that. And the other thing is, you know, when I look back and I talk to people on the show, everybody makes mistakes, everybody's screwed up, everybody's said and done things that they regret, right?
Not me.
All right.
Maybe one,
Show me
okay?
off the break right now.
OK, I agree with you. Everyone has.
No, what I'm saying is, and so you learn from that, and you go on with it, and that's it. And I don't think you can have experienced everything, and I wouldn't ever say that.
You seem to be someone who likes being in control. Am I right? Are you someone who has an issue being out of control?
Can I just point out, and I didn't, you know, ever set out to do this, certainly not on Saturday night television. You said that Jeremy Kyle could appear cold and whatever.
Yeah.
You know, when I go home, let's be honest, I don't wear the trousers. There isn't a man in the United Kingdom who's married who's telling the truth if he says that his wife isn't in charge. You've met Mrs. Kyle. Mrs. Kyle is in charge.
Yeah, she told me what to do, and I tell you what, it was the best evening of my life.
Brilliant. When he met my wife and me, he looked at her and then he looked at me and he said, "You've definitely done better than she's done, haven't you, mate?" To be honest. Yeah, I love being at home. I was away for 2 years in America, and just, you know, the last few months after the illness, 3 kids at home, an elder kid away, and it's nice because it's just away from all that stuff.
How was it in America for you? You took the show over there, and obviously, in a way, I found it easier watching the American show than here because of the fact that these people were quite near. I felt a bit more concerned for our country, seeing some of the people you had on. And a little bit concerned for you, but more concerned for the overall state of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Whereas when I look at the Americans one, I'm sort of enjoying it in a perhaps an ungenerous way.
I couldn't get over it. Their names are so different, you know, in England. Let's welcome Mary or Susan. So the first guest out was called Reminiscer. I mean, you know, and Diogenes, and just the weirdest
they're
thing.
beautiful
But what
names.
they all did to me the whole time was they get really angry and they start throwing their bleeding shoes at me. They literally take their shoes off and go, "You lie me, I'm going to tell you."
Wow.
And for the first 3 months, no man in America ever passed the lie detector. No way at all.
OK, we have a lie detector test set up for you here this evening.
OK.
OK, you don't have to do this. We've put it in the green room.
Can't I
to
set
give
the
them
questions?
You can set the questions if you want.
Can I do that?
OK, so you
that
put your
looks
hand...
really, really genuine,
They
doesn't
put
it?
their hand on these. OK, and here's one. Oh, yeah, there is one here. You can have this one. Put that there.
Where do I put? What
you
do
put
I
your
put
hand
on
on top of the prong
the
things,
hand.
and they have. That's where the power will come at. And if you are telling the truth, measures your pulse rate. If you're telling the truth, nothing will happen. If you're telling a lie, you will get a shock.
An electric shock. Do you think this is fair?
Are you all up for this? Zachary, you up for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Tom, you OK for this?
Do I have a choice?
No, not.
Tom's
not
really
if you want to play your record at the end of the show, you don't say. I mean, you always have a choice. Tom, I bet you never thought you'd be on the Jeremy Kyle show.
I know, I'm chuffed to bits.
So, Tom, we asked you, have you ever pretended that a song is yours that you've written and, in fact, you've ripped it from somebody else?
No.
He said no.
That's the truth. No shock.
Fantastic.
No shock. OK, you got one for Zachary?
Zachary, have you ever worn false ears in an intimate situation?
Not false ears, no.
He speaks the truth. Let's have one for the lovely Zoe.
Zoe, contrary to what you said earlier, have you ever decided that you couldn't make it to the toilet whilst wearing a wetsuit and had to let it happen?
No, I wouldn't.
No, she didn't. OK, Russell, it's all on you.
Russell, are you enjoying tonight's show?
Yes.
Really? Russell, let's do another one. Russell.
Yep.
Have you ever won Rear of the Year?
Yes. Ah, you son of a bitch! Well, that's broke.
Can I just be honest with you?
This is broke.
Only his one has an electric shock.
Yeah, clearly.
Russell, let's do another one. Russell.
No, let's not. We've got
Let's do
that,
one.
surely.
Do you think we're overplaying
Russell, let's
this?
wire it up to your bollocks.
Russell, I think you've just given him an idea for his next series. Jeremy, thank you for coming on the show.
Pleasure.
You're a good sport, and also, really, I think what you do it about as well as anyone can. It's a good show, and I enjoy watching it, so I'm glad that you still do it. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeremy Kyle.
Thank you very much.
Stick around, Jeremy. Thank you very much. I'm just going to go and say hello because we're going to take a break now. After the break, I'll be talking to the incredibly funny Russell Howard, but we also have music coming up from the one and only Mr. Thom Yorke, ladies and gentlemen. Thom, how are you? It's great to have you on the show. You know I've always been a huge fan of you, of Radiohead, one of my all-time favourite bands. This is a new thing you're doing. What's this new project you're doing now, though?
Well, I've got this band called Atoms for Peace. We haven't actually started touring yet, because 2 of the members of the band are playing with Chili Peppers at the moment.
What's the difference in working with... Why do you go with a new band? When you've got your old band, why do you now find a new band?
Well, it started out... I made a record on my own, just on the computer, and I was curious to know what it would sound like to get people to play it live, and asked Flea and Joey and my friends to do it for a laugh. And then it turned out to be a really exciting thing, so we just ended up making a record from it.
And what kind of music could people expect from this? Because
it's much more rhythmic. It's like much more dancey, fast, furious, whatever you want to call it.
Because towards the end, Radiohead, you got more and more kind of ethereal, did you not?
Yeah, I mean, I say it's fast and furious, but the one I'm going to play later on is most definitely not.
Did you feel a little bit like you were cheating on them?
It felt like sleeping around, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh. Let's see what Jeremy has to say about that. I think he would have a point to make there. I really want to see you play live. And when you're playing, it's going to be all new material? You can do any of your solo stuff or the Radiohead stuff with the new band as well?
I don't think the Radiohead stuff, it's basically solo stuff from a few years ago and this new record, which is called Amok.
Amok. And the track you're going to play for us later is called?
That's called Ingenue.
Ingenue. And you're going to play a little something now to go into the break, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to play something you might know.
OK, don't go away because Thom will be performing a whole song at the end of the show after Russell Howard. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy.
I'm a police, arrest this madly talks in mass. It buzzes like a fridge, he's like a detuned radio. I'm a police, arrest this girl, her Hitler head was making me feel ill, and we have crashed her party. This is what you get. This is what you get. This is what you get when you mess with us. It's probably enough, right?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get my next guest right out here. He has been named as Heat's Weird Crush of 2013. He's now a shoo-in with the bookies to win Rear of the Year. It is Mr. Russell Howard. I'm sorry.
No one else got zapped.
Did it actually hurt?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. All right, so Russell, it's great to have you. You're back on tour. You haven't done a big tour for a few years now, have you?
Yeah, 3 years.
Okay, what's been going on? Why so
I've been doing the telly show, and I fancied doing a new tour. I'm really looking forward to it.
Okay, so this is all new material, all new stuff from your life, I guess.
Yeah, bits and bobs, yeah.
Hey, are you looking forward to life on the road? Because now you're fit, you're in good shape. I'm guessing life on the road, it'll be harder to maintain that. You know,
it's going to be great. I'm looking
what
I tend to do when I go on tour, I tend to bring my family along. I bring my brother a lot, just because my brother doesn't care and has no ego, so just kind of gets us into mischief. That's the best thing. Like going on holiday with him before any tour is just a great way of writing material.
Is he older than you?
No, he's younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff does he get up to then?
So we went to Thailand, me and my brother, and he already, get ready. His appendix burst while we were there, which was horrendous. We didn't have any travel insurance, so I had to pay for him to have his appendix removed. And they put him in a wheelchair. Like 4 days later, we're in the hotel, and it was awful, but he survived. And we're in this lift, and there's about 6 other people in the lift, and my brother's an arsehole. So he started pretending to be heavily disabled in the lift, right? I've never been more disgusted with him in my life, right? He was sort of just, and we kind of, the tension was building as we got up, right? We got up on the 4th floor, we got out of the lift, and I punched him in the face. But there were people outside the lift, and they hadn't seen what he'd done inside the lift. All they'd seen is a bloke they recognised off British TV run up to a bloke in a wheelchair, punch him in the face, and scream out loud, "What's wrong with you?" So it was just one of those moments where...
hopefully.
And they didn't applaud. Let me tell you that, they didn't applaud.
Well, hopefully they will do now. What about your mum? Will she be going on tour? Because I love hearing stories of your mum. She sounds like quite a... Your whole family is an intriguing proposition, but your mum in particular
seems... My mum's a wonderful lady.
There she is. There you are with her on the red carpet.
Hey, that's my sister. How cool is that? Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. I didn't know you were going to show that photo. That's my sister Kerry. She's an amazing actress. That's my mum's first ever premiere. It's my first as well. And you know the thing when they take your photo? Yeah. That's clearly what's happening there, because you don't know what to do. You never think it's going to happen to you. You've got all these people taking photos and they're like, like that. And me and Mum, rather than holding one pose and sort of gliding across, we're trying to take individual photos. So we're like... and that's clearly right in the middle of Mum when Mum's like that. And my eyes are all over the shot. And Kerry's trying to move away from these couple of pricks. It was an amazing night, though. Yeah, she's a great lady. What's she been up to? She did the sound check. Last time I did the O2, she did the sound check. And she was singing Lady Gaga. Which is an amazing moment just to see my little mum just, "Carry my cat." Yeah, it's good, Russ. It's good to go.
So it's kind of a family. Is it a family? She's not involved. She doesn't manage you. Or she's not involved professionally like that. Is she?
No, if my mum managed me, I'd have like fake tan. I'd be doing Strictly, stuff like that.
Let me ask you about... You must be... I know you're a kind of, you're a young man. You're a fan of Star Trek? You're a fan of Star Wars?
I am not a massive... I used to love Star Wars.
Hold on, Russell, sit up. What are you doing?
Sorry,
your mother will probably be watching.
She will be. I was a fan of Star Wars, but not a massive fan of Star... I remember thinking, when I watched Star Trek, I can never get... Why did Captain Kirk never once flick Spock's ears? Just surely once you're going, meh.
Zach, did that happen on set? Did you get your ears flicked much?
No. Am I going to get electrocuted?
Only if you keep giving one-word answers, like no.
No, I'm always so afraid that if I do anything to them, they're going to fall off, so I can't really fiddle with them.
You must have kept the set, though. You must have taken some home.
Yeah, I did. I've taken a few.
So you must have... I bet you've wandered around naked with only the ears on, haven't you? You so have. I mean, any man would do that.
No, he wouldn't.
Any man.
You would do it if you had Spock ears?
Wander around naked with Spock ears?
Yes!
I wouldn't.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing. Don't... Just like, that can't be an excuse, "Oh, I've got these from work." That doesn't give you an excuse to get your dick out. You can wear them and just enjoy them. You don't have to go, "Oh, it's quite fun, but I wonder what it would feel like if I was completely naked."
Since when do you need an excuse to get your dick out at home? Surely that's the best place to do it. I'd need an excuse to get out here, and it would have to be a bloody good excuse.
We've got windows in our house. So, I mean...
Well, I've got windows in my house.
Yeah, and yet you're walking around just like that with Spock ears, like that's allowed. That's weird if someone looks in. You've got dogs in your house. They can't... Looking at that, you've got pugs. That'll freak them right out. No, Jonathan. I don't know what that was either. It was an impression at pugs.
If my pug spoke like that, I would be really terrified. Also, they walk around naked. Why shouldn't
That's correct.
Russ, it was great to see you again. I can't wait to see you on tour. I've never seen you do a whole set.
Oh, you should come along. I'm doing the Royal Albert Hall, which is the most exciting thing.
That will be exciting.
How cool is that? Yeah, I'm doing that for 4 nights. I saw a video of Adele performing there. I thought, God, that looks so cool. So
I imagine her material is somewhat different to yours, though, isn't it?
There's something beautiful about seeing her just wanting to go, you all right, how you going, you all right? And then just singing these amazing songs set against that backdrop. Just beautiful. So, I don't know, I just thought it looked cool, and Billy Connolly did it, and Victoria Wood did it, so...
So you're following the footsteps of giants?
Yeah,
there you go.
Pretty
well,
cool.
I'm going to come and see you there. Ladies and gentlemen, I suggest you do as well. The fabulous Mr. Russell Howard. Thank you, dude. That was great. Good down. Don't go. All right, that's it for all my guests this evening. Thanks to all of them. Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Zachary. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Russell. Next week, what a show we have for you lined up next week. I'll be joined by Jamie and Louise Redknapp. They're coming out together. We've also got, remarkably, Yoko Ono is here on the show, and Hollywood action star Vin Diesel. And we've got magicians, we've got music from Bastille, so you won't want to miss it. But now, performing ingenue, it is the magnificent Thom Yorke.
You know, like the back of your hand, who let them in? You got me into this mess, so you get me out. You know, like the back of your hand, your bell jar. Your collection, as you knew, you got me into this mess, fools rushing in, yeah, and they know it. The seeds of the dandelion you blow away, in good time I hope and pray. If I'm not there now physically, I'm always before you, come what may. And you know it, oh, let me in, yeah. Well, you know it, gone with the touch of your hand. Move through the moment, the wet betrays transformations, jackals and flames. If I knew now what I knew then, just give me more time. I hope and pray I mistake all you say. The seeds of the dandelion you blow away.
Thanks. Thom Yorke.
With his exams looming and his father's illness, the pressure is on for Endeavour in the last in the series tomorrow night at 8. Then continuing our Perspective season, Hugh Laurie shares his passion for the blues as he tours the US performing and recounting its history. That's at 10.